Next thing we do is we loosen this little nut over here. It's got Loctite on it, so it doesn't undo that easily. And when you put it back, you have to put Loctite on again. You also have to be careful that you don't twist this rubber mount, because if you tighten it without holding the rubber mount when you put it on again, you could damage the rubber mount. You'll notice that there's no washer with the nut, but there is a little spacer just above, which is this guy. Got to be careful not to lose that guy, and you've got to remember where it goes again. It goes on here and then the nut at the bottom. Next guy you loosen is this little screw over here with a 4mm Allen key. Next thing we do is we pull these little connectors off and we separate them. But before we do that, we've got to mark them. To remove these connectors from the holder, you have to push over there, that little piece of plastic right over there, and then you can slide it off the holder like that. To pull the plug apart, you actually have to pull that tiny little lug over there. You have to pull it away, and then you can maneuver this guy out. It takes a little bit of practice. That's the little guy that you'd pull away like that. Next thing we do is we loosen this screw over here, which is quite nice and tight. And you'll notice it's on a rubber mount, so again when you tighten it you have to hold the rubber mount a bit tight. The little spring washer, the point of the spring goes against the bolt. You see how it's facing like that? This point of the spring goes against the bolt, and there's no Loctite on this one. We're going to remove both manifolds, the intake manifolds. Use a 5mm Allen key to do that. Right. Long bolts at the back. You'll notice again that the spring washer, the pointed part of the spring washer, comes against the bolt head. So we lift these guys up and out the way slightly like that. You'll notice that we've got O-rings which have got a lubricant on them, so they have to be cared for. This O-ring has come loose a bit, so I'll just put it back in place very nicely like that. Take a piece of tissue paper, just gently close these holes off to ensure we don't drop anything into them like that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove these coolant pipes from the cylinder heads over here, here, over here and here. Make sure you keep these guys, which are from the coolant hoses, separate from these guys which are from the intake manifolds. You can see there's a difference in length. When you pull these coolant hoses away, there's a little O-ring in there. You can see it's got a lubricant on it as well. We just need to very gently close those holes off as well. Be very careful not to leave this inside any of these holes here.